Okay, so today we're talking about value and wow. Two things in your auto repair shop that you really need to nail in order to keep your customers coming back time after time, as well as have them refer you via word of mouth to their family, friends, and the people that they work with. Now, there's a couple of different ways that you can deliver value, and the most important one is actually through the way you communicate. So language and the way that you speak to your customers will actually have a determining role in how much value your customers perceive is in the services that you offer. So if you're only talking to your customers about price, then there's not a lot of value in that conversation. And if you continue to speak that way, just about price, then you'll teach your customers to be price sensitive and you'll attract more price sensitive customers. That's not what we want. So it's very important that you choose language that represents how valuable the service is that you're performing for the customer on their vehicle that day. And you can assist yourself in the delivery of valuable language simply in the way you report your upsell items or the items required for work on the car that day back to the customer. Now, once again, if you only talk about price, so parts and labor, then the conversation that you are steering the customer towards is one about price. Successful auto repair shop owners don't just discuss parts and labor. Sure, it is the very first part of the conversation. You can mention the price, but then the successful auto repair shop owners and service advisors quickly move on to features, benefits, and value. So talk to your customers about the value and the benefit in them having those additional safety items taken care of while their car's in for the service that day. Talk to the customer about the value and the benefit in them getting those additional jobs done while you've got the hood up, while you've got that particular part of the engine under focus that you'll do another job. So make sure that the customer knows that you're trying to save them some money in labor or save them some inconvenience by coming back a second time, and that they can get all of that done in the one go. That is value adding. People value their time as much as their money, and they just don't want to come back again if they don't have to. So be careful about the language that you use and really think about the order that you report the necessary and upsell work back to your customer in. The other thing that you need to consider when you're delivering value is what problem are you solving for the customer? If you think you're solving a problem that is different to the one that they actually have, you're going to have a mismatch, and the customer is going to walk away feeling unsatisfactory, feeling like the experience wasn't good enough. So what problem are you solving? Is it a time-based problem? Is it a safety problem? Is it a convenience problem? Be really clear with that, and your value and the value that the customer perceives they are receiving will increase. The other thing that customers value is a relationship. And if they don't feel like you're putting enough time into them, then they will leave you and go somewhere else. It's the major reason why customers stop going to dealerships, because they just feel like they're a number there. So a customer is looking not for you to stand there and talk to them all day. The reasonable ones do know that you do have to get back to work, but they want some familiarity. They want some understanding that you actually care, that their car is safe on the road, and that you're friendly, and that there's a bit of banter, and that you remember them when they come back. So it's super important that your person in the front office, your service advisor, just adds little notes to the customer file so that the next time they come in, you're referencing those notes and the customer feels like they're valued. Now let's talk finally about wow. I mentioned at the start of the video that there are two different kinds of wow: good wow and bad wow. Good wow is when the customer goes, wow, that's impressive. I've had a great experience here today. Bad wow is when they go, wow, what just happened? I can't believe how much that bill is. They didn't talk to me about it. They just went ahead and did the work and now I've got to pay for it. Or, wow, that person didn't even look up from the desk when I walked in and I stood there for 3 minutes while they were looking at their phone. That's bad wow. We want your customer to have good wow. So I want you to consider here the type of feedback that you get from your customers at the moment. So do this exercise right now. How many customers would you put in the category of giving you feedback that is 9 or 10 out of 10? We'd call that great feedback. Next, consider how many of your customers that are giving you feedback would you put in the category of 7 or 8 out of 10? We'd call that good feedback. Next, how many are giving you feedback that's more around a 5 or a 6 out of 10? It's a bit hit and miss. And then finally, who's giving you a score that's somewhere between 1 and 4? Essentially, we'd call that crap feedback. Now, if you're in the 1 to 4 category for the majority of the feedback that you're receiving, even in the 5 to 6, the hit and miss category, you need to change something immediately. And here are the 3 quick areas that you can look at to change something to improve your customer wow and add value to your customers. The first thing is in your communication. So what's one thing that you could change with your communication today that will improve the experience for the customer? It might be that you implement that you text or call the customer as soon as the vehicle and the invoice are finished, just to let them know it's done, even if they said they wouldn't be back until 4:30 this afternoon to collect it. The next area is in education. So what's one thing that you could do and implement today that would improve the value and wow experience for your customer in regards to the way that you educate them about the job that you're doing? Do you need to spend more time with them in the upsell process, explaining why it's better safety-wise and convenience-wise to have those additional items done today? And the third thing is through your value adds. What value adds do you do with your service or when your customer comes in for a major repair? So think about it. What's one thing you could add today? Is it just the addition of a fragrance tree at the end of the service, or tire shine and a windscreen clean, or a dash wipe? Or if you're really ready to get into the value adding, then do a free wash and vacuum. But if your feedback that you're receiving is in that low end, I urge you today, pick one of those categories, even all 3 if you really need a kickstart, and just do one thing today that will increase your score in those areas. So that's customer value and wow. Go back to your workshop right now and get implementing and see how your customer satisfaction increases. And if you feel like you need some help with this stuff, then make sure you click the link that's in the comments under the video and answer a few questions for us and book in for a call.